I am Shannon Blackwell from the stayathomefamily.com, where we hope to provide encouragement and resources for you while you're at home, whether you're homeschooling or at work or everything in between. We want to be your resource for that. You can subscribe to us here on our YouTube channel, or you can follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Today, we have a very cool guest. Her name is Emma Vinskus, and I have known Emma for several years now when she was a camp leader for leading my kids at summer camp many years ago. The reason I wanted to bring her on is because she has a very good story for those of you who are homeschooling, especially moms of brand new littles who kind of cannot see the end picture and how this is all going to turn out. And Emma is a senior in high school now, and we just want to bring her on and ask her some questions and kind of grill her and see what it's like to be at the end of this. So Emma, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us how long you've homeschooled and kind of where you're at now.
Okay, so hi, my name is Emma Vinskus. I am a senior in high school, well, homeschool high school, I guess. I have been homeschooled ever since kindergarten, and yeah, I'm a part of Classical Conversations. I'm in their Challenge 4 program, and I'm really enjoying it.
Awesome. Okay. So Emma, lots of moms say that they just don't think that they would be able to make it all the way through, and they feel like once their kids hit high school that they don't think that they would be able to mesh well with their children or still be a teacher. But it looks like that you guys survived, right? You and your mom made it. Did you enjoy homeschooling? Tell us what you enjoyed about it, and also please share if there's anything that you did not enjoy about it.
Of course, yes. So I thoroughly enjoyed homeschooling. It's been really nice, especially once I hit that the high school, like last year, middle school into high school, being able to control my own schedule because I know usually most kids in public school, once they hit high school, it's like their life is spent with school and then homework and then a job. But with being able to be homeschooled, I've been able to set my own schedule and do other things outside of just schooling, which has been awesome.
Was there anything that you did not enjoy about being homeschooled?
Probably something that's been more of a struggle for me has been maybe having a larger age group of kids my own age. I have a lot of friends, but I have made friends with adults, a lot of adults I've made friends with. Um, but just personally for me, having a larger community of kids my own age has been more difficult, but that's where I'd highly suggest like getting into a classical conversations group or sports. I did do swim team at one time, and at that point I was with a lot of kids my age, so that was really enjoyable. Um, or maybe being able to do orchestra. I was able to do that, and that was really enjoyable. So definitely tap into having that with being homeschooled, maybe having more of a flexible schedule and really being able to dive into extracurricular activities.
That's great. That's a good segue into my next question. A lot of parents are concerned that their kids won't be socialized, that they're going to miss out on a lot of opportunities that kids in public school have. Um, and do you feel like you, as a homeschooler, that you missed out on extracurricular activities?
I would not say so. No, there around where I live here in Carteret County, there are a lot of extracurricular opportunities where you don't necessarily have to go through the public school. So I know for swim team, I was a part of East Carolina of Aquatics, and that was really great. For orchestra, I have had to travel for orchestra, but it's something that I was able to do for a season, which is awesome. But there are definitely a lot of amazing programs that you can really tap into that are great for socializing, even if like maybe you decide not to do classical conversations and you just decide to homeschool from your house. So
That's awesome. Okay, good. And at what point in your homeschooling did you feel like you were able to start taking ownership of your own schedule and be kind of more independent and doing things on your own?
I would say last year of middle school into high school, And with the Classical Conversations program that I'm a part of, that's kind of how it works. So my mom started taking more of a step back, starting into Challenge A and B, which is last year middle school, first year high school. And then as we've moved on, so now I'm in my senior year and I pretty much take care of all of my schooling. So I set my own schedule. I'm the one who makes sure my stuff gets turned in on time. I do let my mom look at my papers to make sure that I don't have too many errors there. But um, definitely once you hit teenage years, that's when I was able to take more control of my schooling.
That's awesome. And so with your extracurricular activities, one thing that I know that you've had the ability to do is kind of start your own business. Can you tell us what you do?
Okay, yes. So I am a music teacher. I have a love of music and a love of kids. So this kind of works out well. I played an instrument for at least 11 years. I play now piano, flute, violin, and cello. And I teach all of those instruments. And this has just been a great growing experience, is being able to start my own business and learn how to right, have that one-on-one like with adults and making sure that I send out knowledgeable like business emails and doing record books and having to learn how to do taxes. It's been interesting. Yes, definitely, it's been a great experience.
Well, I have to say, as a mother of children who take lessons from you, I appreciate the invoices and it's just the professionalism and always checking to make sure I'm going to be home because that has happened where I wasn't at home for a lesson. So you've always been very organized, and we really, really appreciate your lessons. The kids love Mondays.
Oh,
Love these
thank
Mondays.
you.
So, all right. So, do you think, are you still taking on students now? Are you able to fit more students into your schedule?
I am, and I do have room. Yes, I do.
If you're in Eastern North Carolina and interested in lessons with Emma, please email me at shannon@thestayatHomeFamily.com.
And do you think that you'll continue doing lessons when you go to college next year?
I think I might take at least maybe a semester off or two just to kind of get into the new environment and kind of figure out what my school schedule and practice schedule what will look like. Um, but if I can and if the Lord wills, I'd love to take on students and work while I'm at college. So.
Awesome. Okay, so speaking of college, one scary thought for moms is trying to figure out transcripts and grades and applying for school. And that's something that normally the high school would just take care of for you, that the guidance counselors would walk you through. How is that process for a homeschooler, and how did you guys kind of navigate those waters?
So high school transcripts, I think my mom started at the end of last year, and she's done my transcript for me. My parents have been super, super hands-on, which has been amazing. It's been such a blessing for me because I think I have no idea what I would have done. But a lot of that is just making sure that your student turns in like their classes and just having that hands-on part for parents. I know probably for some people, homeschooling can just seem like especially once they do hit high school, it's just be like 100% like hands off and not maybe happen to what their student is doing. But I would highly suggest, just making sure that you keep tabs on like your students and how they're doing in classes and their grades. And then my mom, through that, was able to start my high school transcript and have that pretty much finished. For applying for colleges, it I think was kind of different because you are homeschooled, so sometimes there's some things that you just don't know, or you just have to do on your own. That's something the high school would normally do for you. A lot of it, I think, for me was I had to. I'm sure high schoolers have to do this too, but you have to write a lot of essays. Um, but overall, the high school, the application process has been really great. I think I've been accepted into all the schools that I've applied to, which that gives homeschoolers hope that yes, you can get accepted into colleges, even if they're larger ones. It is possible, yes. So,
That's awesome. How many schools did you apply to?
I want to say I've applied to 5 or 6, some of which include East Carolina University, Liberty University, Wingate University, and as far as I know, I've been accepted into all of them, so which is really great.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. What are your future plans? And do you think that as a homeschooler that your future plans are obtainable?
I would say yes. Right now, I would like to study music in school, and I think what I'm going for right now is majoring in music and then minoring in business or majoring in both. I think it's definitely attainable as I've had a really great music education, and I've been able to have just really amazing teachers for that. And then with being homeschooled, I've had time to dive into the more music extracurricular activities, which is great. I think it's definitely something that, if the Lord wills, is definitely possible.
That's awesome. So do you recommend homeschooling, and do you think it would be something that you would do with your own children when the day comes?
I would highly recommend homeschooling. Not just because it can be easier on kids just like schedule wise being at home, but because you're able to have control over what your students are being taught, and especially if you are a Christian, um, you're able to really have that Christ-centered worldview at how you look at your studies. So, for example, with a lot of the stuff that especially once you hit senior year, we have looked at Greek myths, or we've read a book, The Discoverers by Daniel Borstein, and his worldview is not a Christian worldview. He was actually at once, I can't remember. I want to say he was part of the Communist Party at one point. So the perspective that he writes from is not one that is looking through at the events of history through the lens of Christ and through His Word. But we've been able to have discussions about that and he's saying like, hey, so he explains it like this. How can we look at this through a Christ-centered worldview, which has been really amazing, and it's been awesome.
That's awesome. Awesome, Emma. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. I'm sure that as a homeschool mom, it's just really encouraging to see someone so just put together and has a good head on their shoulders and not completely damaged by this unknown like homeschool thing. And it's just really cool to get to talk to you and have you answer some questions. So thank you for spending your evening with me. And yeah, have a good night.
Thank you.
If you have more questions for Emma, please leave them in the comments below, and we will have her back for a second interview. Please subscribe and like our channel. We would really appreciate that. Also, if you want more, you can follow us at thestayatHomeFamily.com and on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching, guys.